Hi, my name is Cija Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of the CW Hub, where we will help you publish and create your dreams, whether that's a book, art, crafting, anything that comes from the creative spirit. We will help you publish it and get it out there for the world to enjoy. So, I originally started as a publishing company, I want to say officially in 2021 after writing my first solo book. Um, Creative works has always been therapy to me. So doing crafts, arts, and things like that have always come naturally to me. Selling them just kind of came later. Um, so I use the creative works though as therapy for myself, for the people I serve, and then also the proceeds from my creative works go back into my other organization, Educate to Empower, where we assist families affected by disability with resources and informed support. The cost of being published the first time. I'm a big budget queen, and I've always been creative. Like I said, I've written since, gosh, probably since elementary school. I'm a poet by nature, so publishing a book though was something that was seemed far off for me, and then I got the opportunity to co-author in a book with 13 other amazing women, and that just kind of opened the door and the spark for me to want to continue to write. But the cost of being published is kind of high, and so I decided if I was going to keep writing, then I needed to learn how to publish myself. No. Not at all. I thought I would be an attorney in the courtroom arguing somebody's cases. And so while I do have a legal degree, it's just not really what my purpose is in life. So I have to walk into my purpose. I would say it's part time, but I think my family would disagree. They would say I probably do it a little more full time, but I do have a day job, a 9 to 5, so I would consider myself part time right now. So in here we have a combination of a couple of businesses. My um, daughter and her husband have an online clothing store, so I just house them here as well. So we have some of their things from Ty Bop Styles, um, and the crafty parts and the artwork. So the artwork is a work of my son, he's a published author. I published his first works, and that's one of his drawings. But um, it's a combination. I like to house the things that I create so that people can get the vision for what they can create when they walk into this space. I want it to be motivational. I want it to be something that just makes a change. And sometimes it's just, having a new pair of earrings or something that makes you feel so pretty that you just want to go out, you want to get dressed up, you want to do that. So I make earrings as well. My son sells earrings, so we between the two of us, we definitely have a lot going on. But yeah, I just want this to be an inspirational boutique so that when you come here, you feel inspired to um, pull out your inner creative. A majority of everything you see, if not everything, can be found on kiawilliams.com. I also do vendor events around. I'm available to do crafting parties, those types of things as well. I've traveled in state as far as San Antonio to do parties for people. Out of state, I've went back as far as Illinois, back home to do and hold parties for people. It just depends. I also am a motivational speaker, so if the speaking gig is out of state, I will definitely travel for it. I have no problem traveling. Um, it depends on who I'm speaking to and what I'm speaking for. So I've been asked to speak at a community event that was in honor of a young lady who took her own life. And my core audience at that event was the high school kids she went to school with, and then also the family of her. And so my main topic there was motivating them to see that there's a need for change, for one. We have to understand that where our kids are today is much different where we were. You know, we used to fight and be back friends next week, but the internet has changed the way that friendships or lack thereof show up, and sometimes it impacts a person so deeply that the sadness becomes too much for them. And so my core message there was just reconnect where you can, be a better friend. If you see something, say something. And a lot of times I don't even remember what I talk about because I give it all to God. I pray before I go in and speak to anybody on anything. And a lot of times the words are not me, it's Him. So I'm usually don't recall what it was because it wasn't my message to hold on to. Much like my poetry that I write, I'm not a poet who can get up and perform by memory because my poetry is therapeutic. So once I write it, I've let it go out of my system. And so if I don't have it to read from, I can't repeat it a lot of the time. So those are the things that I do. It's always going to be based around finding your core strength and pulling that out so that you can be successful in whatever it is you're doing. Yeah, absolutely. My youngest is an autistic, high functioning autistic, and I didn't have the support system that I thought I should have had for sure. Even from family and relatives that were around, they don't understand how that works for a person, and so it often left me feeling unmotivated and confined to my own issues. Like I had nobody I could talk to because nobody could resonate with what I was going through. Even my children's father didn't really understand it the way he should have, and so it forced me to find the spark in me that I can be that empowerment for myself. And as a servant by nature, the only thing I know how to do is to give that back so that it breaks the cycle. So empowering people who, especially like me, feeling insecure with a lot of things, feeling insecure, like we were just talking about my skin tone. As a mixed person, I'm very, very pale, and so I get it both ways, and it can't help. You can't help but to internalize that at some point in time. And at some point in time, I had to stop worrying about what everybody else thought about my skin tone and worry about what I thought about it. And then taking what I've learned over my life and giving that to somebody else who's going through it. Because a lot of times we don't share our stories because we think it's unique to us. But there's some little girl out there right now who's mixed, who's pale in tone, who's feeling like they don't know where they fit. There's some little girl who has experienced molestation as I have, and that's what I wrote about in my book. I never thought I would tell anybody, but it needed to be said because they needed to know that there's something on the other side. So as I'm empowering other people, I'm consistently empowering myself. Every time I speak motivational things into anyone, and I do it with my employees, I do it with my children, I'm reministering those things to myself and reinforcing that in myself so that I can continue to do the work. In the next 5 years, I would see myself retired from my day job for sure. Maybe a brick and mortar to house all of the creative things that are made and to be able to brand and sell things on a different level. Um, Definitely more immersed in my own business and making money for myself. I want my legacy to be that I made a change. I impacted somebody enough that it struck a chord, whether that be to pull them out of sadness, to push them towards opening their own business, seeing their own potential. I just really want my mark to be that I made a difference for that person.
Program is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association.